I still remember the exact night my life changed. It was April 14th, 2021. I had just turned 37 years old a few weeks earlier, and instead of feeling alive, instead of feeling in my prime, I felt broken. I had just come out of the shower, my hair still damp, and as I wrapped a towel around my body, I caught my reflection in the bathroom mirror. At first, I didn't even recognize myself. My face looked swollen, puffy, like it didn't even belong to me anymore. My stomach hung over the towel, my chest sagged, my eyes looked dull, tired. For a moment, I just stared. And then, the tears came. It wasn't just about the way I looked. It was the way I felt. The shame, the exhaustion, the years of pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. That night, standing in front of the mirror, I cried harder than I ever had in my life. And as I wiped my face with my hand, one thought burned in my mind. This can't be my life forever. And in that moment, I told myself, if I could control my mind, truly control it, then my weight loss was only a matter of time. My name is Daniel Harris. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, in a middle-class family. I work as an IT specialist, which means long hours at a desk, staring at screens, and not much movement. By the time I turned 35, my weight had climbed to 315 pounds. My doctor had already warned me about my blood pressure and high cholesterol. At my last physical, he looked me in the eye and said, "Daniel, you're one lab result away from type 2 diabetes. If you don't change now, it's not just your quality of life that's at risk, it's your life itself." But even then I ignored it. My daily routine was brutal. Fast food for breakfast, energy drinks to keep me awake at work, vending machine snacks in the afternoon, pizza or fried chicken for dinner. Late at night, I'd sit on the couch with chips and soda while binge-watching shows until 1 or 2 a.m. I avoided mirrors. I avoided cameras. If someone tagged me in a photo on Facebook, I'd untag myself as fast as I could. I wore size 3XL shirts and size 48 pants. Stairs left me winded. Tying my shoes was a chore. The worst part? I withdrew from people. I stopped going out with friends. I made excuses not to visit family. Deep down, I was ashamed of myself. That mirror moment was just the trigger. But the truth is, the breaking point had been building for years. I remember one day, just a few months before that night, I was at Target, and I tried to buy jeans. I grabbed my usual size, 48, but they didn't fit. I had to walk back, sweating, embarrassed, to grab a size 50. The cashier didn't say anything, but the way she looked at me, I'll never forget it. It was a mix of pity and judgment. Then there was the time my niece, Hannah, who was 6 years old, tugged on my arm at a family picnic and said, "Uncle Danny, why don't you run and play with us?" I smiled and told her I was too tired. But inside, I felt crushed. I wanted to run with her. I wanted to be the fun uncle, but I couldn't. My body wouldn't let me. And then came the final straw, that mirror. Seeing myself cry, seeing how far I had let myself go, it lit something in me. That night, I made a decision. I sat on the edge of my bed, grabbed an old notebook from my nightstand, and wrote in big capital letters, "This ends now." Underneath, I wrote my starting weight, 315 lbs. And then, goal, lose 100 pounds, no excuses, no quitting. For the first time in my life, I felt a tiny spark of hope. The first 2 weeks were hell. I had lived on junk food for so long that even the thought of eating vegetables felt foreign. I remember standing in the grocery store aisle, staring at broccoli like it was from another planet. I started small. I cut out soda, which meant giving up nearly 1,500 calories a day right there. Instead, I drank only water. I downloaded a food tracker app and logged everything I ate. The first week, I averaged 2,800 calories a day, down from what must have been 4,000, 5,000 before. The cravings hit me like a truck. Late at night, I'd sit in bed sweating, my mind screaming for chips or ice cream. I'd literally pace my apartment just to distract myself. I cried a few times, not from hunger, but from the realization of how addicted I had been to food. And then there was the gym. The first time I walked into Planet Fitness, I thought everyone was staring at me. I stepped onto the treadmill, started at 2.5 bike meters, and within 10 minutes, I was drenched in sweat, gasping for air. My legs felt like jelly. I looked at the timer. Only 7 minutes had passed. I went home that day and almost quit. But then I saw the notebook on my nightstand. Those words, "This ends now," and I forced myself to go back the next day. By the end of week 2, I had lost 6 pounds. It wasn't much, but it was proof that something was happening. Proof that maybe, just maybe, I could do this. And quietly, I had a secret weapon, something I had started doing every morning before breakfast. It gave me just enough energy to push through the workouts, to stay focused at work, to not collapse into cravings at night. I'll talk more about that later, but at the time it felt like my lifeline. Around month 3, something clicked. I had lost 22 pounds by then. My pants felt looser, my face looked a little less round. One morning, I climbed a flight of stairs to my office, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was dying. That moment shook me. I stood in the stairwell, sweaty but smiling, thinking, is this what normal feels like? I started to crave the progress more than the food. I meal prepped every Sunday. Grilled chicken, brown rice, roasted vegetables. I learned to cook healthier versions of my favorite foods. I started every morning with a walk, even if it was just 20 minutes around the block. At the gym, I moved from the treadmill to weights. The soreness didn't scare me anymore. It made me proud. I remember bench pressing just 65 pounds and struggling, but 3 months later, I was doing 135 pounds and feeling strong. The biggest breakthrough wasn't physical, it was mental. One night I stood in front of that same bathroom mirror. This time I didn't cry. I smiled. I saw progress. For the first time I looked at myself and thought, you're worth it. You're doing it. And every morning, like clockwork, I did my special routine, my walk, my prep, my focus. And before breakfast, I took that little thing that made me feel limitless. The numbers started to add up. At 6 months in, I had lost 48 pounds. At 9 months, I was down 73 pounds. By the 1-year mark, I had lost 105 pounds, weighing 210 pounds for the first time since college. I'll never forget the day I bought new clothes. I walked into Old Navy and grabbed a size large shirt and size 34 pants. In the fitting room, I put them on, looked in the mirror, and I just laughed. I twirled around like a kid. I didn't recognize the man staring back at me, but this time it was in the best way possible. My doctor nearly fell out of his chair at my next checkup. My blood pressure? Normal. Cholesterol? Perfect. Blood sugar? Right in range. He looked at me and said, "Daniel, you've added years to your life." The biggest victory wasn't medical, though, it was emotional. At my sister's wedding, I danced. All night. No shame, no exhaustion, no hiding in the corner. People came up to me, shocked, saying I looked like a completely different person. And for the first time in a long time, I felt alive. Now, looking back, I don't hate the man I used to be. I used to. But now, I just feel compassion for him. He was lost, hurting, stuck in patterns he didn't know how to break. What I learned is that discipline beats motivation. Motivation fades. Discipline is what gets you up at 6 a.m. when you'd rather sleep. Discipline is what makes you say no to pizza and yes to the gym. And consistency, not perfection, is the key. I had cheat days. I missed workouts. But I always came back. I always kept moving forward. I wrote down my entire routine, every step, every meal, every workout, so I could remember it forever. Today I'm 39 years old, and I weigh 210 pounds. I hike on weekends. I play soccer with my nephew. I run 5Ks for fun. I smile at strangers when I'm out walking in the morning sun, because I finally feel free. If you're listening to this and you're struggling, please hear me. I was you. I was the person hiding from mirrors, deleting photos, avoiding life. I thought I was too far gone. I thought change was impossible, but it wasn't. It started with one night, one decision, one promise. And if I can do it, so can you. Please don't give up on yourself. Don't believe the lies that you're stuck, that you're hopeless. You're not. Change is hard, but it's possible. And it's worth it. So take the first step. Drink the water. Go for the walk. Say no to the soda. And remember, your mind is the key. If you can control your mind, your body will follow. And if you need help, don't be afraid to use the right tools. On my journey, I found things that gave me energy, focus, and the ability to push through when I wanted to quit. And they made all the difference. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more true transformation stories. And for those serious about transforming their health, remember, lasting change starts with mastering your mind, eating smart, moving daily, and using the right proven supplements. Our website, weightlossspeech.com, is packed with science-backed diet plans, powerful workouts, and supplement tips to help you reach your goals faster. You have one life, one body, one chance to turn it all around. Don't waste another day, because if I can lose 105 pounds and rebuild my entire life, then you can too.